this day. 2 years later, in 1949, Hayek further galvanized his new movement with another deeply prescient article titled The Intellectuals on Socialism, in which he argued that the prevalence of both Keynesian and Marxist thought was thanks to the dedication of collectivist intellectuals, such as the New Dealers in America and the Fabian Society in Britain, to create an impenetrable consensus among the intellectual and political classes around the need to plan the economy. Hayek admired the power that they had consolidated in service to their ideas, and proposed to his neoliberal colleagues that they could do the same, if only they took a decades-long approach of slowly accumulating an avalanche of neoliberal research and activity that would one day create the same impenetrable intellectual consensus that the interventionists enjoyed in the 1930s and 40s.
Hayek wrote on the need to fight the battle of ideas against socialism by learning from the strengths of the socialists themselves, specifically their tendency to advocate for an ambitious or even utopian vision of society that the public found persuasive and inspiring, regardless of how politically possible or impossible it seemed at the moment. So long as the people who over longer periods determine public opinion continue to be attracted by the ideals of socialism, the trend will continue. If we are to avoid such a development, we must be able to offer a new liberal program which appeals to the imagination. We must make the building of a free society once more an intellectual adventure, a deed of courage. What we lack is a liberal utopia, a program which seems neither a mere defense of things as they are, nor a diluted kind of socialism, but a truly liberal radicalism which does not spare the susceptibilities of the mighty, including the trade unions, which is not too severely practical, and which does not confine itself to what appears today as politically possible. We need intellectual leaders who are willing to work for an ideal, however small may be the prospects of its early realization. They must be men who are willing to stick to principles and to fight for their full realization, however remote.
Crucially, Hayek placed supreme importance on the opinions of respected intellectuals, academics, and professionals in the fight to change the political consensus using their prestige. Hayek wrote, "It is no exaggeration to say that, once the more active part of the intellectuals has been converted to a set of beliefs, the process by which these become generally accepted is almost automatic and irresistible. These intellectuals are the organs which modern society has developed for spreading knowledge and ideas, and it is their convictions and opinions which operate as the sieve through which all new conceptions must pass before they can reach the masses."
Hayek's message to his colleagues was that the socialists had succeeded in creating a politics that was attractive to public intellectuals, and that these public intellectuals were the disseminators of political ideas in the world. Only through a bold politics that didn't shy away from moving the status quo through persistent effort would their movement succeed over socialism.
Hayek wrote,
"The main lesson which the true liberal must learn from the success of the socialists is that it was their courage to be utopian which gained them the support of the intellectuals, and therefore an influence on public opinion, which is daily making possible what only recently seemed utterly remote. Those who have concerned themselves exclusively with what seemed practicable in the existing state of opinion have constantly found that even this had rapidly become politically impossible, as the result of changes in a public opinion which they have done nothing to guide. But if we can regain that belief in the power of ideas, which was the mark of liberalism at its best, the battle is not lost. The intellectual revival of liberalism is already underway in many parts of the world. Will it be in time?"
For Hayek, seizing the mantle of prestige in academia and all other arenas of professional expertise was the key to injecting neoliberalism into the mainstream. From its inception, neoliberal economics was portrayed as a scientific and empirical field, rather than the product of political ideology. The effort to capture the rigor of fields such as physics or biology, to make neoliberal capitalism into unquestionable common sense, was largely successful thanks to the hard work of the Mont Pelerin Society and its network of academics and entrepreneurs who built the neoliberal consensus on both sides of the Atlantic.